What's up, everybody? My name is Matt Jonas, and welcome to Midnight Witch. This is another visual novel type game. I don't know much about it. As with all games, I just go into them blindly, just to play them and experience them for the first time and not have anything ruined. So let's get started. What is your name? My name is Matt. Let's do this right. M-A-T-T. There we go. Matt, that's a lovely name. Okay, if you say so. Hey Matt, move! My neurons are very slowly kicking in like a rusty machine getting greased by motor oil. Huh? I look up with still sleepy eyes towards the origin of this pleasant morning greeting and notice Dan's cocky grin. Wes, his loyal minion, is standing right next to him. You're really not a morning person, even worse than me. I feel like I've been jolted awake from a particularly heavy sleep. Like every night, I didn't go to bed until I had exhausted all the distractions available to a broke student. A well-rounded mix of TV shows, video games, and procrastination on social media. And like every morning, I promise myself to go to bed as soon as I get home. Suddenly, I feel a hand on my shoulders that abruptly pulls me out of my daydreaming. Man, you really are out of it today. No, I just what exactly? Unable to finish my sentence, I gently massaged my aching temples. You were with Emma, right? It's been what, 6 years? What? No, it's only been, 2. 2 years? Now that's a long-term relationship. Come on. You must have hit 2 years of You must have hit 2 years of cumulative relationships long ago, with more than 10 girls. Hey, I'm just looking for the perfect girl. I answer with a particularly loud yawn. Yeah, if you say so. But what the hell are you doing at school this early? I'm a new man, bro. Time for a quick smoke, and then I'm gonna be sitting in the front row. Wes burst out laughing, revealing perfectly aligned little pointy teeth. What about you? You decided to rebuild your life too? Wes's smile suddenly fades and his face turns pale. Well, he's not really a model of self-confidence. Did you not hear? We have a new professor this morning. His sentence hangs in the air. So what? You don't get it, Matt? The new professor, I hear she's absolutely... Matt! A familiar voice, soft and melodious, reaches my ears. Emma stands right behind us, looking puzzled. Guys, why are you blocking the entrance? Dan slaps me on the back, nearly knocking the wind out of me. Look, here's your sweetheart. I jostle Dan slightly to get closer to Emma and put a shy arm around her shoulder. Hey, Emma, you okay? Emma smiles at me and places a light kiss on my lips, which has a way of triggering a small wave of heat that radiates down my belly. I'm not really the romantic type, but this girl has brought out feelings in me that were previously totally unknown to me. Dan was telling me about the new professor we were having this morning, apparently. Emma looks at me with a surprised expression. Oh, right! You heard it too? I remain slightly puzzled and such... Is this such big news, a new professor? I cannot read today. Ha! A normal answer, at last. Look, kids. It's time to go take a smoke outside and talk about a topic of utmost importance. He turns abruptly to Wes. Wes, go get seats at the back of it for us. I want to sleep peacefully as soon as the new professor starts spouting off her lecture. With a shifty look on his face, Wes nods and quickly leaves for the auditorium. With my arm still around Emma, I followed Dan to the park without much enthusiasm. What is it with everyone and this new professor? Is it someone famous? The autumn breeze makes Emma's shoulders shiver as she decides to cling to my arm a little tighter in hopes of drawing some warmth from it. My goofy smile quickly fades as I become aware of Dan's condescending look. I didn't know you were a hopeless romantic, Matt. Yeah, I get it. You are not familiar with this very concept. I'm looking for the right person, too. I mean, if Jessica decided one day to... Who knows? After all, I would just need a stroke to fall into your arms. I turn my head to the newcomer. Jessica, the most popular girl in all of the class. The sunlight slides over her incredibly long red hair. Many heads turn when she walks around the campus. I don't think she has many female friends. I feel Emma's fingers tighten around my arm, or tighten on my arm, and notice a slightly uneasy look on her face. She and Jessica don't really get along very well, to say the least. Jessica, I was just waiting for you to come and brighten up this dreary morning. Don't even dream about it, Dan. Dan burst out laughing. The two of them actually get along pretty well. I don't think there's any hint of romance between them, but who knows? Anyway, what about this new professor? What's so interesting about her? Yeah, I feel like she's all anyone's talking about. Is this really a big thing, a new professor? Just what I'm thinking, finally. Emma speaks up with an unusually excited voice. I heard she graduated top of her class last year. She was so good that the university agreed to hire her as an assistant professor, even though she's barely older than us. Jessica glares at Emma with This game's gonna be full of fucking big words. With a contemptuous look. She's probably your spirit animal, right, Miss Perfect? Emma cowers in on herself as if she's been slapped. I have to step in. Hey, Jessica. I know your grass-based diet must be such a pain on a daily basis, but you don't need to lash out onto others. Jessica strides towards me in a way that is both graceful and intimidating. Her haughty hair and amber eyes, I don't like that word, seem capable of setting the surrounding air ablaze at any moment. I may have gone a bit too far. We're all happy to know that your underwear sits right next, fucking A, I cannot read. We're all happy to know that your underwear sits right next to Miss Perfect's bed 3 times a week, but you really need to get your feet back on the ground. Sorry, milady. This girl is scary. I wonder who would be crazy enough to chase after her. Chill, Jess. You know Matt is the white knight type, just defending his damsel in distress. There are damsels in distress that would be better off thrown into the dragon. An unusual silence sits in. I don't understand the animosity between Jessica and Emma. Fortunately, Dan often manages to diffuse the tension. He's got a real gift for that. His hand brushes Jessica's shoulder, and she immediately turns her animosity to this new threat. Jessica, you don't understand. This new professor, apparently, she's absolutely gorgeous. Jessica raises a haughty eyebrow. Hoity? Haughty? If that's hoity, that's really weird spelling. What? She wears a miniskirt and plunging cleavage? And that's enough to tickle your Y chromosome? My poor Dan. I thought you were not that stupid. Dan shakes his head, a condescending smile on his lips. You don't understand. I've never gotten so much... See? Dithyrambic feedback on a girl. Hold on. We need Google for this. Okay, so dithyrambic means relating to or the nature of dithyram, which is a wild Greek choral song or enthusiastic speech. It can also mean a statement or writing that is an exalted or enthusiastic vein. Okay then. It's like she's everyone's first choice. Dithyrambic? See? Me. Exactly. Don't use big words you don't understand. Is it to impress this infamous professor? Jessica rolls her eyes with a sigh. Dan, you are a complete idiot. You are really a complete idiot. Jessica gives Emma one last contemptuous look, then heads towards the main building. Matt, I think it's time to go. Emma takes my hand and heads towards the building as well. I follow her with my feet dragging. This class is way too early in the morning. I walk into the half-empty auditorium with Emma still holding my hand. Looks like not everyone is planning to attend the morning lecture. Let's sit over there. As usual, Emma sits at one of the top middle rows at a very reasonable distance from the board. How long does this class last again? 3 hours, I think. I stare at her unblinkingly for far too long to hide my dismay. Over the whole week? A small crystal chiming laugh escapes Emma's teeth. Fucking hey. I need to go back to bed. A small crystal chiming laugh escapes Emma's thin lips as she quickly kisses me. Stop being so silly. Social studies is one of my favorite subjects. Yeah, me too. One of my favorites to skip. Emma grabs my arm with a particularly adorable expression. Matt, I love you. I love you too, Emma. You know that already. Yeah, but I love when you say it. A duet of identical voices rises behind me. Emma! Emma! Chloe? Zoe? The twins. I quickly step aside to let the double hair tornado pass by me and rush to Emma. You'll never guess who we saw making out in the hallway here, or on the way here. I still can't believe it. What? No way. Yes. Yes. Or yees. With an exasperating sign, I turn away and take out my laptop. I can scan across the classroom that is slowly filling up around me. Some people clearly decide to stay in their beds this morning, but from the looks of it, there's still a good 30 or so students who bother to show up. Not bad for a morning class. I glance at Emma, who is still absorbed in the intense exchange of gossip with the twins. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Dan staring at me from the back row. This new professor must really be special for him to show up this early in the morning. An amber glint catches my eye. It's only Jessica, who just sat a little behind me in the back row. At a very reasonable distance from Dan, though. Wes is giving her sideways glances. Is that why he's always with Dan, in the hopes of getting closer to Jessica? My face naturally breaks into a smile as I open my latest notes on my laptop. The social sciences file contains about 10 particularly short sentences and a few words highlighted in bold. Yep, that's it. Let's say that I'm desperately relying on Emma's notes. When are the midterms again? A slight nudge pulls me out of my thoughts. Matt, look. She's not the only one who looks stunned. It seems like the whole class is hypnotized by what exactly? My eyes swerve towards the front of the class. The newcomer is sitting on the lecture desk in the most natural way. All eyes linger on her fine, even features, her bewitching smile, her jet black hair cascading down her shoulders, let alone her eyes. Eyes at once dark, sparkling, intimidating, an impossible night blue gleam dances in her gaze. The regular professor's loud voice rises sharply, but only partially breaks the spell that is mesmerizing the whole class. Listen, this is Miss... Please, call me Evelyn. The playful tone emphasizes the bubbly and perfectly controlled side of her voice. Evelyn is my new assistant, and she will be teaching most of my classes next semester. I'm counting on you to stay serious and focused. A few whispers rise from the back row. Male student, that's my dream job. You hire some assistant and don't do shit. How do you become a professor? Please, quiet in the back. Good. I count on you to welcome Evelyn and show her the full extent of your capabilities. For those who have any, the professor punctuates the last remark with a glance in the direction of Dan, who grins with all his teeth. I wish you all a good day and good luck to you. Evelyn? The sound of the professor slamming shut. The sound of the door slamming shut tells me that the professor has left the room. It's only Evelyn and us now. Hello, everyone. Good morning, madam. Hey. A collective murmur rises from the rows of the room in greeting to the new arrival. Like I said, you can call me Evelyn, but please don't call me madam. I am barely older than you. A light laugh escapes her lips and echoes off the large walls in the auditorium. I graduated last year, so I was a student like you until very recently. I hope we can bond to learn better together. I'm still very new to this job, so I'm counting on your goodwill. The muffled echo of male voices erupts from the four corners of the auditorium. Of course, you can count on us, Evelyn. If you need help, please let me know. Her amused eyes roam the auditorium and scrumptiously, whatever. This entire episode, or this entire series, is just going to be me fucking struggling over words. The room looks a little empty to me, but I think all the important people are here. What? Is this a subtle way of saying she's going to take attendance? For a morning lecture? That would be unheard of. Evelyn comes down from the lecture desk with a small light hop. Well, I think it's time for us to start the class. And just to start off on the right foot, by the way, what class am I supposed to teach you? Even Emma is left speechless. No one expected her to say that. Evelyn seems to revel in everyone's response. This is social studies class. A large smile appears on Evelyn's face. Social studies? Wonderful. That's my favorite class. Just like Emma. The new professor's gaze finally swivels to me? You, handsome. What's your name? Why do questions always come to me, regardless of the professor? I'm Matt, madam. Evelyn. Matt, could you please tell me where you were in the course? Uh, I have absolutely no idea. Looking completely clueless, I give Emma a puppy-like dog look. She sighs at my utter dismay and glaring back at me with an angry look. What was she expecting? That I would be up to date with the course? I'm getting up on taking this class seriously a long time ago. Resigned. Emma whispers the answer in my ear. I don't understand a word she's saying. I just repeat every syllable in a very rough voice. We were studying comprehensive sociology. That's a big word I can say. Evelyn Evan Evelyn quickly claps her hands, looking visibly excited. The analysis of the social world. Fantastic. Social relationships, right? Domination, power, differentiation. That's the word. I nod without understanding a word she just said. I really need to start studying for real, or else Emma's gonna yell at me again. Her cold looks confirmed my fears. She looks quite upset. Sorry. Thanks, Emma, for helping me. Perfect. Let's start the class. I'm counting on all of you to behave. One second. Emma was right. Evelyn is quite brilliant. Despite her visible lack of preparation for this specific class, she has been talking about comprehensive sociology for over 5 minutes with particular insight and sense of expertise. Given my insane lack of knowledge in social sciences, I am unable to say if what she says is actually relevant. But she definitely sounds very convincing. Wait, isn't that the Dr. Fox effect? Seems like I've actually learned a thing or two about sociology over the years. I take a look at the other students. Most of them behave exactly like usual. At least the ones I know. Emma takes perfectly organized notes. On her little pink laptop, Zoe is having a quick manicure, her little nail polish jar unsteadily resting on her right knee. And Chloe tries by all means to catch the eye of a guy sitting a few rows down without much success so far. As for Jessica, she's staring at her laptop screen far too intensely to be actually paying attention to the class. And what about me? No point in lying, I haven't taken a single note. A nudge on the elbow pulls me out of my daydream. I was listening, I swear. Emma looks at me warily, and then finally smiles. Very funny, but take notes. Class started 5 minutes ago. With a sigh, I place my hands on the keyboard and start writing a few keywords from Emma's notes. Hey, do you guys have internet? Emma and I turn to a student sitting a bit further to my left. I haven't tried yet. Why? I can't connect to the Wi-Fi. New whisper behind me this time. Wi-Fi is down. They must have changed the password last night. Only the school internet works. Intranet? Internet. The university internet. Great. Aside from fascinating articles about the discovery of electricity and the biography of the college's dean, this thing is as empty as my fridge on a weeknight. Hey, log on to the internet, chat. Everyone's trolling, or everybody's trolling. I mean, the social networks and mobile phones. I mean, with social networks and mobile phones, this kind of thing is literally useless. But now, since we don't have the actual internet anymore, I find the address in a few clicks and manage to log into the chat room. The messages are flooding. I open the small tab listing the people logged in. There are almost 30 people. Seriously, nobody can crack the new Wi-Fi password? Sucks so much. When did they even change it? It was working just fine yesterday. I got no signal on my phone. Yeah, I don't have any signal either. Nobody can get any signal in this auditorium. It's always been like this. But why? This auditorium was built with new materials that are more insulating, but that also prevent any mobile signals. Get the fuck out. Shut up. He's saying something interesting. So we'll never get any signal in this room? Who's West Z Wizard? I should have paid attention to that. I'm going through an impressive number of insulting messages and pure flood. It's insane how an online chat can become a garbage can in no time. West Z Wizard. Okay, that's Wes. We will eventually, thanks to the deep indoor technology that allows signals to pass through very thick walls. But it's expensive for mobile network operators to install. Balshore. I don't know who that is. How do you know all this? Just me. It's Wes, Dan's friend. His mom works for a telecom operator, so he knows a lot about this stuff. Dark Unicorn. Shut the fuck up. I don't know who Dark Unicorn is. Dan, maybe? With the chat being anonymous, it's just too easy to troll. Welcome to the absurdity of online chatting. I glance over at Emma, still focused on her notes that now filled an entire page. Has Evelyn talked that much already? I feel Emma's incensed look on my face. She hates when I slack off, and I look up at Evelyn again. I find this almost magical bluish glow dancing in her dark eyes. I stiffen slightly as Emma's hand shakes my shoulder. Take notes! Hurry up! I stifle a yawn and look down at the clock. Morning break won't happen anytime soon. Class is 3 hours long. Fuck. That's a long-ass class. We are done with this chapter. I hope it wasn't too boring. An unusual rising tide of voices spreads through the rows. That was perfect, Evelyn. Keep talking, please. Can you please repeat the last part? Thank you all. You are so kind. But I have talked too much. Now it's question time. What do you mean, questions? Wait. I didn't pay any attention. Who can tell me what the Barnum effect is? A few hands go up, including Emma's and Dan's. You, next to Matt. Emma straightens up slightly in her chair. It's a principle used for personality tests and horoscopes, or horoscopes. People are flattered by speech that valorizes them, which leads them to find inaccurate comments about their own personality relevant. Evelyn quickly clapped both hands. Excellent. That's exactly right. What's your name? Emma hesitates for a moment, surprised by the teacher's unusual familiarity with her students. Emma. That's perfect, Emma. Read any personality test. You'll always find a subtle mix of flattery and statements generic enough to fit the majority. Once convinced that the test results represent who you are, you would become more likely to accept completely false statements about your own personality. This is the power of the Barnum effect. Evelyn, you are the best professor in the world. Evelyn burst into a crystalline laugh. Sorry, but flattery needs at least a little bit of subtlety. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Let's see. Who can tell me about the bystander effect? It's a classic that you've already faced in real life. Hands go up again. No. It's always the same people answering. I'll pick someone this time. She moves slowly across the stage in search of her prey. One hand brushes the desk as she continues to walk. You, over there, what's your name? Lucas, ma'am. Evelyn. The guy named Lucas. I've probably talked to him twice in my life. He is casually sitting in an obvious attempt to appear cool and relaxed. So, Lucas, do you know what the bystander effect is? Lucas' smile widens. It's when you are a bystander to a significant event that you are able to replicate afterwards with accuracy. For example, I was able to date very talented girls. As a result, I can now pull off some amazing tricks. He concludes his answers with a wink, and he probably believes to be the most charming in the world. It was dorky, vulgar, and probably off topic. What a douche. You bet. He'll be lucky if he gets kicked out of if he just gets kicked out of the class. To my surprise, Evelyn continues to smile in a perfectly natural way. It does not surprise me. After all, you look like you belong to the gifted type. It's up to you to find out. Evelyn's smile widens. Oh, but I already know better than anyone. Huh? Unfortunately, that wasn't the right answer. Blinding flash of light fills the entire room for a split second, immediately followed by a dull crack. My eyes instinctively close at this sudden light assault. The classroom is now dead silent. When I finally manage to open my eyes for good, I find myself facing a vision of horror. Evelyn is elegantly seated on the table right in front of Lucas, smiling. Terrifying. In front of her, Lucas stares dazedly at the long blue spear that crosses his chest. There's blood absolutely everywhere. The eyes widen. Lucas tries to articulate some words, but only a bubble of blood springs from his lips and splashes a little more his completely soiled clothes. The blue spear seems to glow with supernatural and devious gleam, as if it animated by a will of its own. Evelyn keeps her eyes riveted on Lucas's face, whose life is rapidly slipping away. It feels like time stays frozen for eternity. My brain, unable to process the images I am witnessing, can no longer reason rationality. Shit. Lucas, covered in blood. Evelyn, the magic spear. I'm dreaming. A nightmare. That's impossible. I barely manage to hear the scream that tears through the surrounding silence. Thank you for doing it for me, so I didn't have to. Help! Run! The paralysis that had gripped the entire room disappears all at once, as if by magic. A large panic begins, with half of the students taking cover under the tables, while the other half rushes to the door. Door located on the other end of the room from my seat. Fuck! Emma turns to me, her face livid. Without thinking, I pull her against me and tip backwards so that our bodies are under the table. The protection is purely symbolic, but what more can I do? While my brain is screaming at me to think of a way to get to the door, my gaze goes back to Evelyn. Still smiling, she gently caresses the handle of the spear without seeming the least disturbed by the agitation around her. Her medallion glows with the pulsing of the magic spear, which seems to be absorbing the life of her unfortunate victim. It seems like Lucas is living his last moments. His face becomes more and more livid with each passing second, and his eyes take on a gray color specific to dead corpses. A frightful nausea invades me. I pull Emma a little tighter against me and force her head to turn towards my chest in a futile attempt to spare her from this macabre vision. In spite of the ambient rush, a new shrill scream, followed by a pestilential odor, invades the room that silences all the other noises. As I try to find the proper vision angle without exposing myself unnecessarily, I manage to see flaming masses collapsing on the floor just in front of the door. Don't tell me. Another student? No! The door is trapped. The student's amassed near the door are all caught up in a primal panic. A tremendous stampede ensues, the crowd divided by the desire to get as far away as possible from the two corpses, that of Lucas and another unfortunate soul who was burned alive. Evelyn's bubbly voice rises from the center stage as if she had teleported again from the back rows where Lucas's corpse still lies. No, no, no. The class is not over yet. At these words, all the students froze, and a new icy silence invaded the room. Evelyn's sharp smile lights up her face, which strangely no longer bears any trace of Lucas's blood. If you don't hurry back to your seats, I'll have to punish you too. After a few interminable seconds, the message finally sinks in, clear as blood. Punishment? Death. New panic sets in. Most of the students rush to the relative safety of their tables, while a handful remain motionless near the door, totally paralyzed by fear. Evelyn gazes at these death row inmates with a delighted expression. Oh, bad students. One of the three students still standing faints, her face maddened. The second lays eyes on the totally charred corpse, then bends over to vomit profusely. The third, his limbs shaking all over, seems to have completely lost the control of his own body. Evelyn slowly approaches the door, her eyes riveted on the two girls on the ground. Poor thing, she fainted. What kind of teacher would I be if I punished a student with anemia? Her lighthearted laughter is in total contrast to the seriousness of the situation. As for her, Evelyn takes a small step to the side to avoid a puddle of vomit. I'm sorry, but eating in class is forbidden. That's how you mess up the room. With a nonchalant gesture, she extends two fingers in the direction of the unfortunate girl still on her knees and agitated by a sporadic retching. Bam! New flash of light, blue this time. The student collapses totally on her vomit, and a big spray of blood. Oh my, look how dirty she is. I hate dirty people. The last student is still standing, tries to move away, but his legs seem to no longer obey the movements, intimidated by his hips. Or intended by his hips. He just manages to lean against the wall to avoid falling. Evelyn raises her eyes full of malice in his direction. Why aren't you sitting in your seat? The class has started already, right? The unfortunate guy opens his mouth like a fish out of water and painfully manages to squeeze a few words. It's not a valid answer. Sorry. Evelyn gives him a ravaging little wink, and then quickly waves her left hand in his direction. Crack! New flash of light followed by a dull cracking sound. A long blue spear, identical to the one that pierced Lucas, goes through the student's chest and literally pins him against the wall. Contrary to Lucas, death must have been instantaneous. The student does not emit any rattle. And his inert head falls to one side in a frightening angle. Looking satisfied, Evelyn quickly contemplates her work, then returns to the desk while clapping her hands. Well, I guess we can now resume the class. She runs her delicate hand through her long hair. I think I was just asking you some questions. All right, just a few more questions and we'll start a new chapter. Let's see. I have a feeling I'm going to have to try not to die by answering questions correctly. So it's going to test my knowledge. Fucking wonderful. Evelyn sweeps the room with her eyes. All the students have taken shelter under the tables, just like Emma and me. A perfectly useless shelter. As much as the underside of the tables is visible from the board. It's going to be difficult for you to take notes crouching like that on the floor. Despite her enchanting smile, an evil glint gleams in her eyes as she opens her mouth again. If you don't take notes, I'll have to consider you absent. The signal is clear. Obey or die. The students slowly stand up and reluctantly sit back in their seats in dead silence. Despite my heart beating way too fast, I take the risk of standing up as well, Emma still in my arms. My will is close to breaking when Emma raises her big doe eyes to me filled with tears. Emma, trust me. My voice is only a whisper, but she nods and lets my arms guide her. I sit her back down in a seat right next to mine, then sit down as well. Her morbidly livid face doesn't let me forget the nausea rumbling deep in my gut. This is a nightmare, a pure nightmare. I slowly turn my head towards Evelyn, trying not to meet her eyes. With a big smile on her face, she is making sure that everyone is seated properly. A particularly sickening smell of burning flesh finally reaches my nostrils. I glance at the black carcass lying on the floor near the door. Just imagining that it's the corpse of another human being makes me want to regurgitate the contents of my stomach. No way. Magic? Magic doesn't exist. There's no such thing as teachers killing students in a classroom. Not in my life. Not in my very average, very basic student life. That's impossible. Emma's small hand squeezes mine. Despite her shaking, the touch of her soft skin manages to calm my emotions slightly, enough to bring me back to my senses. I need to be rational, control my emotions, survive. We must survive. Evelyn can kill us in the blink of an eye. She's using magic, or a superpowered weapon from the future, or whatever. It doesn't matter. The facts are simple. We are totally powerless against it. So we have to trick it. To understand her motives, the rules that underlie her morbid game. Turn them against her like a video game. I close my eyes to concentrate more, without success. Don't be an idiot. This is not a video game. There are no rules, no solutions. No escape. I open my eyes again and meet Evelyn's gaze. My blood runs through my veins. Did she just wink at me? Her attention immediately shifts to the other side of the room, but the uneasy feeling persists. Am I next? My swallowing becomes very difficult, as if my throat has become totally knotted. I'm going to die, like Lucas, like the others. We're all going to die. My eyes freeze on the door and to the room. The only way we can escape. The only way to survive. A door. Trapped. A door that condemns the one who puts his hand on it. A door that condemns the one who puts his hand on it to die by fire. My breath is getting shorter and shorter as I curl up slightly in my seat. We can't get out anymore. Trapped. Condemned. Is everyone seated? Good. Let's get back to the questions. Okay, that's a good stopping point for this one. So, two things. I'm invested in the story, so definitely expect me to continue this. If I don't do another episode, if I don't just do this back to back to back, we'll get back to Doki Doki Literature Club, and we'll get back to Neon White, and we will get back to Dark Deception as well. We will get back to all those, but I'm actually really enjoying this because it's a story I've never seen before. So, yes, the writing is kind of off sometimes, but regardless, I don't care. I enjoy this, even though it does test my intelligence with its big words that I don't exactly understand sometimes, that I have to look up, but that's fine. Anyways, if you guys enjoy this type of content and you want me to make more of this, please like and subscribe. And in the comments, tell me what you think of the story so far. I'm dying to know if you guys want to see more or not. Until then, I'll talk to you guys later.